All right, now that we're logged in, let us see the following. So first thing you see here is your dashboard. On your dashboard, you can see how many agents are deployed. You can see how many tokens have been used, how many hours have been saved, and most importantly, how much money you're saving. So this is a great way to kind of see, are you getting your money's worth when you're deploying these agents? You can see the messages, conversations, and how many documents have been imported. So you have the ability to look at all your agents here, but most importantly, the reason we're here today is so that we can learn how to create an agent. So I'm going to pick an agent that we created already. So in engineering firms specifically, there's always these standards that have to be referenced. And actually engineers spend a lot of time in looking for these standards that meets these code. So that's why this agent is specifically for this application. So once you want to create your agent, under settings, you go to configuration. So first thing you do is you give it a name, and then after the name, a description of what it's for. You can put an input text hints of what they should write on the text, and then you can pick whatever LLMs. We have APIs for all that. Make sure you click this embedding, and then the communication style. So formal, concise, detailed. And then here you have some conversation starters. Pretty much, what are things that are most commonly asked? You can put these questions here. Once you have that information, you move on to the prompt, right? So we have pretty much some templates that you can select from here. But it's always better for you to kind of do this yourself, right? So we have this guide where it kind of gives you a scope on how to go ahead and prompt this correctly. So you have the ability to, give it an identity, give it a to-do list, a what not to do, and a response style, right? So once it knows this, and when you look at this agent, its identity is to reference this specific material. Pretty much very straightforward in regards to what it cannot do and what it can do, and the response style. And then we move on to, let's say, branding. We go to branding, we just put the logo, we put some text color, primary color, we select it based off our brand. And then on the knowledge source, you can drop in any type of formats, PDFs, Excel, whatever it is. Drop it in there over 500 megabytes. We're not limiting you to how much documents you can put up here or knowledge. So you can put your documents, web links. You can put literally a web link there. It can crawl up to 1,000 pages. You can put YouTube videos. It'll take the transcript and it'll also put it in here and use it as part of his knowledge. So what's really important is that the information that's in here stays here, and it's also yours, right? So it's not learning from anything outside of what is built in here. Then you have the ability to go ahead and do testing. So when you do test, you can go ahead and ask some questions. But once you're ready to deploy, you just click deploy. You can share this link and open a preview. You can also share this link, send it to, let's say the people that work with you, your coworkers. You can send it to different clients or whatever it is. But now people have the ability to open up this agent and now start communicating with it, right? So let's say I asked it this question: what parts of the standard apply to vibration and mechanical shocks? It's going to go ahead and reference that part of the document that I uploaded, right? And again, I can continuously ask it more questions and you can go about it. But this is a very simple application, and this is called RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. Well, basically what it's doing is you give it its own library. It's fetching that information as fast as possible. So very simple. But now next video, I'll show you how to implement some workflows and also some other features on creating agents.